Welcome to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. Today, a little different.
Well, I think everyone's heard this story now, and this has actually hit international news. It's about that poor little dude, 4-year-old in Layton, and now the reports vary about what happened, whether he put his hand underneath the fence or the dogs got underneath the fence to his yard. Regardless, this is a little man whose arm was torn off from the elbow down, and the dogs consumed his arm. It was 2 Huskies. They're not sure which one did it, but the point is this is a child now who is going to need painful medical treatments for the rest of his life, for the next 80 years.
We posted this on Facebook. Let's read some of the responses that we got.
And this is what concerned me, because we put up a post saying, how do you feel about this? Because we saw an outpouring of support and petitions to save the dogs, donations for their fines and all the various things. For the little boy, nothing in comparison in terms of support. There was a lot of ugly blaming and nastiness. So our question was, how do you stand on this? In the end, the poll was encouraging to me. 78% said that the boy needed and deserved the support more than the dog, 78 to 22%. A couple of our listeners, Lisa said, my daughter had a cat claw right in the vein, causing her to bleed profusely. When I got on my neighborhood Facebook page asking how to get the cat to leave my yard without killing it, all the support was for the cat. Not one person asked about how my daughter was doing. There were some really ugly ones. One woman, Ariana Allen, said, "Shut up, baby, watch your kids. He put his arm through the fence, not the dog's fault. You weren't watching him. Trying to get a payday out of this. You're using your child's tragedy to gain sympathy and money. Save Polar and Bear." Dog emoji.
May I say something?
Yeah.
I jumped on the internet last night just to see prosthetics, and with kids, they grow in and out of them as they get older until they're an adult. And from the elbow down, it's $59,000.
And insurance doesn't cover everything the way people think it does.
Right.
It doesn't cover lost wages. It doesn't cover missed days at work. It doesn't cut an endless amount of rehab and the other things the child might need. Sometimes it doesn't even cover prosthetics. Andy Grondel said, if the dogs get put down, then you should have criminal child negligence charges. Why would you let your son stick his arm through a fence?
How do they know all these facts?
Precisely.
Well, it doesn't matter.
And
even if he did stick his hand through the fence, keep reading.
And this is one. Thank you. I'm so disturbed by all of the cruel comments I'm seeing directed at the little boy and his parents. People can be so mean. I'm a dog lover myself, but I can say without reservation that if my dog tore off and ate a child's arm, I would surrender him willingly for euthanization.
Ditto.
A human's life over a dog's life, it is a no-brainer.
Ditto. How would you ever trust that dog? How would you ever look at that dog the same way? Well, and I love my dog.
Oh,
but that
probably
dog
more than me.
Would already be put down.
And the heartbreaking thing about this is that we spoke with one veterinarian who said, just in case you're confused about this, that a dog consuming human flesh is aberrant behavior. Dogs are conditioned, not a wild dog, but a domesticated dog is conditioned through behavior and scent and association, that is something that would not happen. It's true that tug of war or whatever mistake might have caused the damage to a child's arm, but to consume it is aberrant behavior. This is not a dog that veterinarians would consider safe.
One more.
Brady said, those claiming he didn't know proper dog etiquette, this came up a lot. How dare you not teach him proper dog etiquette?
4.
He says that. He's 4. He barely knows to wipe himself. He was a child playing in his yard, and the neighbor's dog ate his arm. Not bit it off, not made a mistake. The dog ripped off and chewed and swallowed this dog's arm. I love dogs. Mine is a rescue, but this dog should never be allowed around people again.
Once again, we don't know where this happened. We don't know about the fence, whose yard it was.
The physical evidence report hasn't been released yet.
I think what it is, it's about the boy.
And that's the part I think that was the hardest to see. All the anger and the vitriol directed at the family. If you look at the mom's page where she's written a short note talking about, and believe me, the arm is some of the least of his injuries. Apparently, he's had 3 emergency surgeries. And the things that people wrote and the ugliness and how they posted the petition to save the dogs on the mother's page, so much ugliness. And I guess that was my question, is where in here do we determine who needs the most support?
You know, I know we're going to get crap for this.
Yeah,
we know that. We know that because that's the way it is. The dog thing will work itself out. I'm not concerned about the dogs. Whatever's going to happen to the dogs is going to happen to the dogs. What's going to happen to the boy is up to, I think, people who are concerned about this and are concerned about the family's well-being and the boy's well-being.
He's going to need a huge amount of support. He's going to need financial donations. He's going to need support and help for the rest of his life. His family will have been traumatized to this to a point where you can't imagine. We're going to put up some information here about where you can donate to him. I don't even want to give the mother's Facebook address because it's been so ugly, but when we can't put it up, we will. They're going to need our support. They're going to need love. And at this point, everything I'm seeing is they're not getting it. They're getting a fraction of what the dogs are. And it's something we know we're opening it up for criticism, but we thought this was big enough that we all wanted to know, do you think they need help? And if you do, we wanted to show you where you could support them.
Right. And they're still kind of getting their feet on the ground as far as how to do this. So some of the fundraising is awkward, and we've offered our services, and I'm hoping that other people even more experienced have. But at this point, they still have a certified designation account at Golden West. It is being overseen by the credit union, has been approved by the family. Right. So we do know that this is a legitimate source for donations. All right, thanks for your responses.
So many, thank you, thousands. We did not expect that many.
More of the Todd and Erin Daily Stream coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Daily Stream is brought to you by PC Laptops, with desktops and laptops starting as low as $7.99 with a lifetime parts and service warranty. They fix phones too. Go to PCLaptops.com.
I think it's time for Tell Me Something Good.
I've got a really good Tell Me Something Good. I think it's going to cheer you up. You know, one of the biggest things that I noticed when we visited my dad at his care center is how many people were there who you could see how lonely they were. Right. They didn't have people to come visit them. You could just tell that they were kind of on their own. And it's a huge thing. And there's been a ton of studies that talk about the fact that our elders in our community actually live much longer, happier, and more importantly, healthy lives if they've got that kind of interaction every day.
I did an entire CETA grant for 1 year, 365 days, going into senior citizen homes and finding out what they like, what activities do they like. And we did Shakespeare, and we did juggling, and we did all these different things. And after a year, I summed up the entire research idea in one paragraph, which is they just want people.
They just want to talk.
It didn't matter if we came in and just sat there. They would have loved that. That's what it's about.
That's incredibly moving. I'd never heard that part of, I knew about the grant, but I hadn't heard that part of your study.
A whole year. And it's just like, no matter what we did, sitting down afterwards was the whole thing.
Well, it's interesting. This came from Join Papa, and it's called a Grandkids On Demand app.
What?
And it was really, really interesting. They started this down in Miami. It's Andrew Parker. He's the CEO of Join Papa. And he essentially said, I could see all of these students. They all needed to earn a little extra money. They didn't have a lot of set times. And I saw so many seniors because Miami is seniors' paradise.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's got a crazy high concentration.
The entire East Coast is down there.
And he's thinking, why couldn't I match these up? So he started the app, and then he went through some different things. He even does personality tests to determine whether they have the right sense of compassion and disposition to serve lonely seniors.
Oh, that's funny.
Which is crucial. It can't just be for the money. It's got to be for the love.
And you get graded, too.
In any case, so what happens is...
Is it called Cooters? Because it's like the old coot, and it's like Uber, and you get...
Then it would be Cooters. No, it's not Cooters. That would be like the seniors and Hooters, which is really horrifying, which is where I thought you were going.
No, of course not. Who have you married?
Cougars. That's what you would be thinking, but it would be completely wrong anyway. No, so this is the cool thing. They say that Andrew found that once the kids got on board and they were going by and they were visiting, some people needed help, like maybe running errands, someone to drive them different places to do stuff. Right. Some folks just really wanted to spend time with someone. Yeah. They just wanted to have someone to talk to. Now, it's cool that they've got over 3,000 Papa Pals now throughout the state of Florida, and they're planning on expanding the operation to 3 more states in the next year.
That's fun.
But what they found is, just out of curiosity, a couple of the seniors' homes started doing some studies over the past year, seeing how the kids and their interaction with the seniors was impacting them. Right. And they found out that the average senior who was on the program, they showed a dramatic reduction in illness, and actually for some of them a massive upswing in speach and
plus
the ability to converse again.
They're back again,
Yeah.
In some studies they do it with 2-year-olds and 4-year-olds.
Where they put preschools into a senior center.
It's crazy.
Which you're right, again, is an amazing thing.
Of course, it's perfect.
So anyway, I'm hoping that they'll be here soon, but it's called Join Papa, in case you have anyone down in that part of the country.
If you were in altercation, if you were in a tense situation, how would you diffuse it? I mean, you have to think about it. You're like tempers are boiling. They're boiling. They're boiling. There's only one way to fix it in this world.
Really, a way to make peace and to de-escalate.
One way.
Okay.
Pizza.
Well, you know, that's a given. There's nobody who doesn't like pizza.
Pizza. Interesting. Canadian Airline.
That's actually a really good point.
Canadian Airline, they got deferred because of a horrible storm. And they said, okay, you're going to have to divert. You're going to have to go land someplace else. And they did. And when they did, the Air Canada flight, hours.
And this is Air Canada, the most polite people in the world. So you know that they were probably just like, we're so inconveniencing people.
So the guy was he took his phone, because you can use your phone because you're still on the ground. Is this the pilot
you're talking about?
This is the pilot.
Head pilot, okay.
And he's like, okay, Siri, because they're Canadian, Siri, pizza joint. And then she said, well, there's one like within 2 miles or so. And he calls him up and he goes, I need 35 pizzas, ASAP. He goes, well, take about an hour and a half. He goes, fine, do it. Just start sending them. Get them here. Well, they ended up doing it in an hour.
Nice. They probably knew the urgency of the situation.
They got to security. The security was cleared. They had everything.
I'm sure security was cracking up.
Delivered it out. The baggage guys ran it up the stairs. They put, because they were out there. Put it, because they couldn't get off the plane.
Yeah.
Gave it to them. Everyone's sitting around eating pizza, and it's like everyone's like.
It's like that instant moment of friendliness. We're always just hanging out and talking. We're eating pizza. You can't be angry and
you can't yell.
Separate if you're eating pizza. It's like a thing, you know.
You got pepperoni. You can't yell. Why would you yell?
I can't believe he spent his own money to buy 23 pizzas.
He did.
That's the coolest thing, and that's evil genius. You're right.
And they did it in half an hour sooner than they said they could.
Nice.
That's the way to do it.
I'm kind of impressed by that.
We've got new laws, I understand, because I'm a little worried because I don't want to go out and break a law.
Oh, never. That would not be you for sure.
No.
Well, it's interesting. They've had a back and forth on a lot of different hot button issues, and we've been talking about some of them. One that kind of cracked me up, they've been talking about activity outside of marriage, and I think you've got that one, so I'll let you talk about it. But one that was kind of serious, there was a committee member, this was a unanimous vote, Senate committee approved the bill that amended the definition of criminally injurious conduct that applied to victims of polygamy. The reason why is that the terminology and the phrasing is very important because it talks about the severity of sentencing. It also talks, most importantly, about the availability of victim reparation and services for these women and sometimes men who come out of these experiences. And some of the testimony they said from the floor was incredibly emotional, and that there were senators on the committee, tearing up. But I'm excited by this because now it moves to the House floor, and ideally this is going to give a much stronger presence and more teeth to this.
Yeah, exactly.
And once again, not for the persecution of polygamists, but more importantly for the protection of those
women and
who
children
do not want to be in that situation.
Exactly.
That is the most important thing I can imagine.
What else do we have?
I am so sorry to do this to you.
Don't do it.
The beer situation.
You said that so many times to me.
You know, when we thought, the beer thing's totally going to go through?
Oh, I don't.
Because we got the 3.2 beer, and they were going to make it up to 4.8. It has been unanimously popular.
Like the world.
All of the major, even the mom and pop shops, the big grocery stores, everybody's like, please bring it up. Because
everyone except the microbreweries.
It's us, I know. In Minnesota, we're the only ones who have the 3.2 beer, and the major beer companies are like, it's not worth our trouble.
We could stop doing it at any moment.
And so they were saying, let's just make it 4.8 like everybody else. And so you're thinking, this is going so good, this is going
Didn't
so
happen.
good. And then the Senate bill, which passed with just soaring marks. With
Everyone's.
Senator Stevenson.
Cheers.
Heads down to the House, and then the arguments begin. The arguments begin. They talk about economic feasibility. They talk about the seriousness and the increase of alcoholism. They talk about the possibility of more DUIs. They talk about all these things, and they've now formed a committee
that's dead.
to examine the situation.
Isn't that right? Once you do a committee.
They formed the Beer Availability Task Force to study and monitor the consumption of heavy beers.
Nice. I have one more.
It's over for this year, sorry. Tell me.
There's been a law in the books, and it's a Class B misdemeanor, which is not like an A, but it's better than a C. It's not great. This is for unmarried couples to... hang on.
You're getting the phrasing right, are you?
Fornication. Now, I have dyslexia, so that just says, hey, you want some ice cream? And I say, sure. So without being in wedlock. So you can't Fornication unless
Is this like
you're
Netflix
married.
and chill, but without a wedding ring?
No, it's like no chill.
That's no chill. Okay.
And it's a
It's
B
the
misdemeanor.
Netflix with no chill.
It's a B misdemeanor, like they're grading you now, which is horrible amount of pressure. And so...
I'm not sure you understand the parlance of legislative activity, but...
6 months in jail or $1,000.
$1,000 fine?
I would pay $1,000.
Thank you, baby. But we're married, so you won't have to, but...
Oh, I was...
Thinking back then.
Yeah.
Back then, before.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Wow.
Thanks.
Congratulations. You're not spending a year in jail or paying $1,000 anymore.
There you go. Nice
Good
going.
for you.
And thanks for sticking with us through the first part of the show.
Intense.
Not easy stuff.
Intense.
All right. You guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow on the Todd and Erin Daily Stream.